Peace and blessings from Allah be upon you. Have you ever imagined what it would feel like if someone who quietly helped others every day, someone kind and sincere, was suddenly turned away by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in front of everyone? Today I invite you to reflect on a powerful story passed down through Muslim tradition. It may not be found in any authentic hadith, but its message has touched many hearts. It teaches us about sincerity, about secret good deeds, and about how Allah sees what others cannot. There once lived an old man in Medina. He wasn't rich, he wasn't a scholar, but he did something deeply meaningful. He was a gravedigger. Whenever a Muslim passed away, he would arrive at the cemetery before anyone else, even if no one called him. He dug each grave carefully, as if it was for his own family. He didn't speak much. He prayed often. People respected him, even if they didn't know his name. Children feared his serious face, but adults knew he had a gentle, kind heart. What no one knew was that every night, in the last part of the night, he would get up and pray for those he had buried. He would cry in prostration and ask Allah to forgive them. He was unknown to people, but honored by the heavens. One hot day in Medina, a companion of the Prophet passed away. Everyone gathered at the Baqi graveyard for the funeral. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, came to lead the prayer. The same old man quietly dug the grave, like always, precise and respectful. But this time, something unexpected happened. As the Prophet saw him holding the shovel, his face changed. He looked serious, troubled. Then he said something that shocked everyone. "From today on, do not let this man dig any more graves." Silence fell. The companions looked at each other in disbelief. No one dared to question the Prophet's words. The old man lowered his head, picked up his shovel, and walked away. He didn't argue. He didn't cry. But his silence held deep pain. People were confused. Why? This man had never done harm. He had always served the community. He was always present when someone died. Umar ibn Khattab whispered to Ali ibn Abi Talib, "Is there something we don't know?" Ali simply shook his head. No one had an answer. They trusted the Prophet's wisdom, but their hearts were unsettled. Meanwhile, the old man walked home slowly. His shovel felt heavier than ever, not because of weight, but because of a broken heart. The Prophet's words echoed in his mind. "Don't let him dig again." He thought to himself, if the Prophet said this, there must be something wrong with me. Maybe I've made a mistake I don't even know. He didn't complain. Instead, he entered his small home and dogged a sea, without realized and races, fell into a long prostration. He had seen, kissed those and seen, and he said, and wept, "Oh Allah, if I've done something wrong, forgive me. I only wanted to give my brothers a proper rest. I didn't want them to feel alone. I just wanted to help." His tears soaked the old prayer mat. He didn't defend himself. He only feared losing the one thing that gave him peace, the hope of pleasing Allah through his quiet service. Back in the city, the Prophet sat alone, thoughtful and uneasy. His chest felt heavy. Then suddenly, the angel Gabriel, appeared. With a calm voice, he said, "O Muhammad, your Lord asks you, why did you turn away a servant who is so beloved by the dwellers of the heavens?" This story reminds us, the world may overlook your deeds, but Allah never does. Even if no one sees you, even if you feel forgotten, your sincerity, your hidden prayers, your quiet kindness, they echo in the heavens. Be true, stay sincere, because the one who matters most is always watching. The man unknown on earth, but famous in the heavens. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was surprised. "Are you talking about that man, O Jibriel?" he asked. Jibriel replied, "Yes, that man. He may look ordinary to others, but every night he wakes up, bows in prayer and cries, asking Allah to forgive every person he has buried. He begs for light in their graves, peace in Barzakh, and protection from punishment. He mourns the dead more than their own families. He keeps their secrets and prays for their safety." The Prophet grew quiet, his eyes filled with tears. Then, without a word, he stood up and asked his companions, "Find that man again." That night, the Prophet, peace be upon him, and a few companions walked to the outskirts of Medina. They found a small clay house, dimly lit by a single oil lamp. The Prophet knocked gently. An old man opened the door. his eyes swollen from crying, his face full of surprise. The Prophet embraced him immediately. "Forgive me, my brother," he said. "My heart was tested so I could find out who you truly are." The old man couldn't stop his tears. "I am not worthy of forgiveness," he said softly. "I just didn't want the dead to be forgotten. So I buried them with my own hands. I prayed for every single one of them so they wouldn't feel alone after death." The Prophet nodded with deep respect. He held the man's hand and turned to his companions. "This is the man whose prayers reached the heavens." From that day, the man was no longer seen as just a gravedigger. He was honored as someone beloved by Allah. Yet he continued to live simply, digging graves, praying alone, crying in the dark of night. People in Medina began praying for the dead more often, inspired by his sincerity. The Prophet, peace be upon him, would speak of him often, saying, "Don't judge someone by how they look or what job they do. Maybe the dust on his clothes shines brighter than the stars in the sky." Years later, that old man died, in prostration, his head on the ground in worship. There was no crowd, no fame, no big funeral, but the angels came down to welcome him. He was not a scholar, not a leader, not a wealthy man, but his secret prayers for the dead made him honored in the heavens. His life teaches us something powerful. Allah values what is hidden from the world. Even small, quiet acts, when done with sincerity, can lead to great reward. He was unknown on earth, but famous in the sky. He never gave public speeches, led armies, or wrote books, but his heart was full of love for the forgotten. And that was enough to earn Allah's love. So don't ever look down on any good deed, even if it's just helping with a burial, cleaning a mosque, or crying in sujud when no one sees. This story reminds us, sincerity is a quiet road to paradise, and what is hidden is often what Allah loves most.